Tuesday, August 6th, and folks, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Damon, Bruce, it's great to have you here and brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Today's show is powered by BetUS, and boy, we got some stuff to talk about concerning Brandon Aiyuk, because the man who basically this entire time has been saying he is willing to walk away from a highly competitive situation. He is willing to walk away from a well-built football team in the name of finding the biggest bag that's waiting for him. And if that's the way you go about thinking about things, that's you, okay? I'm not here to judge at all. But Brandon Aiyuk has been put in a situation where he has demanded a trade, and apparently the 49ers have tried to put that trade together. A couple of other teams have, and Brandon Aiyuk has looked at the reality of all that and said, maybe not. Maybe not. He wanted where the most money would be waiting for him. Then he sees where that location might be. And apparently there are more thoughts to this. Okay. All right. What is happening with Brandon Aiyuk? The only thing everyone knows is that nobody knows a thing. There are a lot of people trying to get to Marketplace first with the right information. The wrong information got shared yesterday. Adam Schefter is saying that this is a wildly fluid situation. A trade could happen at any moment in time or at no time at all, because the 49ers still control this conversation from every single angle you basically look at it, except for Brandon Aiyuk telling the team that's about to trade for him that he would not sign an extension with them. And apparently that was relayed to the New England Patriots. So where are we? Where are we now? What are we looking at? Well, let's go ahead and look at the odds, shall we? I told you today's show is powered by BetUS, and here are the odds of where Brandon Aiyuk might end up on another team. Look at the 49ers are sitting there at plus 500. Patriots minus 105, Browns plus 175, Steelers plus 600, and the Commanders, who he has been flirting with on Instagram for months now, are the longest odds at plus 120. BetUS, if you want to wager a little action on what you think might happen, check out the link in the description to this video.
BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
125% bonus match up to $2,000. Fastest payouts in the industry. You want to have some fun? Go to BetUS and use the link in the description to this video. So Brandon Aiyuk is sitting there saying, I want the most amount of money possible. Apparently, it's being widely reported that the Niners and Patriots had a deal in place to send Brandon Aiyuk to New England for the 34th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, but Aiyuk and his agent stated that they would not sign the extension with New England, and that pretty much scuttled the deal right there. Okay, well then, so we know he's been flirting with the Commanders. He's been flirting with the Steelers. Well, guess what? Neither one of those teams is flirting back as hard as Brandon Aiyuk has flirted with them, because it is being reported by Matt Mayoko, the Cobra himself, that the 49ers have a deal in place in Cleveland and they have a deal in place in New England, and those are the only two places. The deal in Cleveland would essentially return Amari Cooper, who was a great route runner, but I don't know if he wants the physical squabbles in the running game that is demanded of 49ers wide receivers. But Amari Cooper and picks coming back from the Cleveland Browns for Brandon Aiyuk. The New England Patriots would return Kendrick Bourne, who obviously was a 49er, and picks for Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, if I were Brandon Aiyuk too, I would have gotten to the edge of this and said, whoa. Let's not act so hastily here. Brandon, listen to Uncle Damon here for a minute. The difference between making $25 million a year and $30 million a year, I know it's technically $5 million a difference, but money cannot buy happiness. You know what will? Being on a really good team, being on a competitor, being on a team that is in sunny California. We might have high tax brackets, but boy, we also got tan lines. We have an incredible place to live all around us, in spite of what you might hear from others. I'll put San Francisco up against living in Abercrombie and Finch, LL Bean, New England any day of the week, or anywhere on the glorious North Shore of Lake Michigan. Come on. Was it Lake Superior? What Lake Erie? Lake whatever. You do not want to be in Cleveland. Cleveland's a fine place to visit, so wouldn't want to live there. And Brandon Aiyuk, you have a big moment in your life staring you right in the eye. And believe me, I've been in situations where, in a bigger paycheck, but with a worse company, doesn't really pay out in the long run. I have seen that situation play out. When you're on a team that you think is a winner and you play a team sport, and everybody's glory is somehow connected to everyone else's abilities, don't leave teams with abilities. Don't leave teams that are run right. Don't leave a team that is this close to doing something very special. It's a lot more fun to chase the Super Bowl that eludes you than it will be to, chase a 4th or 5th win with the New England Patriots? Is that team going to win 4 or 5 games this year? The Cleveland Browns, I have this little historical piece of advice to give to anyone who wants to join or root for the Cleveland Browns. You probably shouldn't. History is unkind to this franchise. So careful what you ask for, Brandon Aiyuk. You just might get it. Now, when you go to lunch today at Ike's, I want you to ask for the Damon Bruce. I am delicious. I am steak. I am onion rings. I am provolone. I am steak sauce. I am best served, I believe, on a soft roll, not a Dutch crunch guy. But get yourself a Damon Bruce from Ike's for lunch and do it today. You'll be very happy that you did. You want to wash it all down? How about my boys at the Dubliner? Just ready to serve you, baby. Go on into the Dubliner in West Portal. Tell them that the Damon Bruce show sent you. Say hi to Kenny. Say hi to John. And say hi to that delicious Guinness that they will put right in front of you when you order one. Thank you to Ike's and the Dubliner and BetUS. Again, look at this. You can tell it's almost football season because the price of poker is going up around the Damon Bruce show. Cheers to you. Like and subscribe. It is wonderful to have you here. And hold on. There it is. That's the sip of the day. So, look, I saw that Albert Breer was in Santa Clara talking to Brock Purdy and a few players around the Niners in an article that he was crafting for Brock Purdy. And Nick Bosa basically told Albert Breer, we wouldn't be where we're at without him. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. People don't give him much credit as other quarterbacks because of how many other highly touted players we have had on this team. Well, I tell you, the 49ers are an incredibly talented football team, but there's no other quarterback that made the talent sing quite like this. And I'll just say this, relating back to Brandon Aiyuk. For a moment, let's just take Nick Bosa at his word. Let's really talk about Brock Purdy being a top 5 quarterback in this league, which to me, I think it's a little too early to put him in that conversation, but he is absolutely drifting towards, not away from this conversation. If Brock is that, if he is about to be that, if he is going to be the guy that you're comfortable giving a $55 to $60 million a year salary to, well, then you know what? He better damn well be all that, shouldn't he? And shouldn't the next guy in here, not named Brandon Aiyuk, be able to produce similarly to Brandon Aiyuk if indeed Brock Purdy is all of that? Albert Breer was talking to Brock Purdy about, the interceptions at training camp that he had thrown, that I'm sure Nickelback Cone, did all videos about, all worried. And Brock basically said, it's practice. So I let her rip at times, just looking to see if we can make something happen other than taking the easy check down. He's not here to practice check down throws. He's trying to make plays. And so that's why reacting to a training camp interception is the person reacting to it volunteering that they have absolutely no idea what they're even looking at. They don't know what they're even processing. They're trying to sell you as, I saw an interception. Interceptions are bad. I'm reporting on a bad interception. Practice interceptions aren't bad, or they're probably more valuable to the learning process than the safe check down that in a game you would take, but in practice you don't. Look, if Brock Purdy is all of this in a bag of chips, then you know what? Brandon Aiyuk, best of luck, man. Ricky Pearsall, I guess it's you. Kendrick Bourne, I guess it might be you. Amari Cooper, I guess it might be you. Guy out of the stands, I guess it might be you. If this is a top 5 quarterback, the amount of who is out here really shouldn't matter as much as it needed to. Let me just also say this, because everybody's taking their shots at Aiyuk and talking about what he is or isn't or does or doesn't do and blah, 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 blah about Brandon Aiyuk. The 49ers' best chance to win a Super Bowl is with him on the team. There is no doubt in my mind that this is a more dangerous day one, ready-to-go football team with Brandon Aiyuk. And guess what? Of all of the important pieces on this offense, all of them, now Trent Williams even included, not getting injured, guess what? Brandon Aiyuk is probably better at that than anybody else. George Kittle's going to get hurt. Deebo Samuel's going to get hurt. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey stays healthy again, but, injury history isn't exactly all the way on his side. So what are we talking about here? Brandon Aiyuk is incredibly durable. Losing Brandon Aiyuk and everything else staying the same, this is a survivable event for the San Francisco 49ers. This is a survivable event. What is not a survivable event is Brandon Aiyuk traded. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, both hurt by week 4. Going to miss a couple weeks. Got to nurse a little pulled whatever, a hammy, a knee, an ankle, a gonectozoink, whatever body part that might get hurt. You lose just Brandon Aiyuk, things are going to be all right. Not great, but things are going to be all right. You lose Brandon Aiyuk, and now Deebo's out, McCaffrey's out, Kittle's, that's when things start to get perilous quickly for the 49ers. And this depth chart, which you're trying to convince yourself all training camp you don't need to really worry about, well, you need to worry about it a little bit after all, don't you? Everybody should tread very carefully over what happens next. I really mean it. I really mean it. I hope that the scare of going to New England and vanishing into, NFL irrelevance or going to Cleveland, as daunting as that might sound for some men and athletes. I hope some of this just breathes a little reasonable thinking into Brandon Aiyuk, because here's the choice. Here is what Brandon Aiyuk is really deciding between. Being in a really good situation with a really good paycheck, or being in a not so great situation with a really, really good paycheck. Like either way you're rich, but either way you are not successful. Leaving the 49ers is something that has been unkind to most players who have chosen to do it during the Kyle Shanahan era, whether the choice was theirs or not. The guys who walk away from the 49ers and find themselves in a different city, on a different roster, with different teammates, are not the same guy that was in San Francisco. And by the way, there is another example of that happening today out in the world. And his name is Jimmy Garoppolo. And for that, we need to push maximum football. Look, I don't know if we've already reached maximum football, but here we go, because Jimmy G has been apparently god-awful at Rams training camp. The quote is, "It's pretty amazing." No, wait. Where is it? The initial LA initially brought him in to be QB2 behind Stafford, but Jimmy G is struggling at camp. Per a source, quote, "That's putting it kindly." So Jimmy G, very handsome, very ugly football down at Rams training camp. It's pretty amazing, don't you think, how quarterbacks have a degree of success under Kyle Shanahan that everybody looks at and goes, not bad. Not bad. I mean, at the very worst, it's not bad under Kyle. And then those guys go in and find themselves in other situations and they forget how to play football. They forget how to play football. You know, Sam Darnold, is he about to have a monster year ever anywhere? I don't think so. Didn't really look good with Kyle. But C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, Jimmy Garoppolo, he gets to Las Vegas and forgets how to throw a forward pass without Kyle Shanahan in his ear coaching him up. So there you go. Football season is officially underway. The never-ending story of Brandon Aiyuk continues on its path of never-ending story. Jimmy Garoppolo already being dumped on in Los Angeles. You can feel football right around the corner. We got preseason football. What's Saturday? Tennessee Titans. Let's go. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to everybody. Oh, Brandon Aiyuk. Da, 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 da. Oh, my God. It's officially annoying. I mean, you want to talk about a roommate wearing out its welcome? This story is a roommate that just simply will not move out. Like, I thought you got a job in another city. Or I thought you bought a home here and we're going to settle down. It's just the roommate that will not leave. I'm so sick of this roommate. I know there's an awful lot of hand-wringing over, this is bad for the Niners. It's bad for their prep. It's bad for all this. Maybe. I mean, it's not good. I'll give you that. It's definitely not good. But I don't think it's... The worst thing to happen in this is to just continuing to let it linger. That's what I think is the worst aspect of this. In a perfect world, Brandon Aiyuk's on the team. Doesn't look like the world's about to be perfect. So in an imperfect world, he's not on a team. Well, then get into that imperfect world and get out of this purgatory. The purgatory of Brandon Aiyuk. It's just, this is officially annoying. Lots of people in the room, lots of people in the chat. Let me remind you that with the coming football season, we will be live post-game. So, boy, I hope you hit like and subscribe. If you hit notify, you will know that we go live at the 2-minute warning of 49er games. It's such an aggressive post-game, we don't even wait for the game to end before we begin. So I hope you plan on joining me this season, this preseason, the coming postseason, all fingers crossed, for a whole lot of 49er post-game shows right here on the Pluce. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And make sure that if you're doing any wagering this football season, you do it on the BetUS link that I have waiting for you in the description of today's video. Again, we're powered by BetUS. We're serving up Ike sandwiches. We're getting Guinnesses at the Dubliner. Life is good. Football is almost here. Let's see. Other news. What do we got for you? Because believe it or not, I actually have something. I have two things that I have to do later this early morning here as I'm recording this. I got to get a haircut, so we're going to be better coiffed in our next video. And I also have to film an interview for a Bay Area sports documentary. That's not on my channel, but somebody is doing a documentary about Bay Area sports. They asked me to be in it, so I've got to do that, which means I got to wrap this up in a little bit. I got to film, then I got to go to a haircut. I said we're kind of doing that backwards. I should get the haircut, then we got to film, but it's already scheduled. So there you go. Let me take you through the other things in the world of sports that you need to know about before you go on your very busy day in your very busy way. Thank you so much for stopping on by here. Hayden Birdsong is looking for a 4-0 start to his major league career, and don't look now, but this guy's ERA is under 3. He's got a 2.97, and the Giants are a 500 baseball team. They've gone 8-2 in their last 10 to get there. They're 4.5 games back of the wild card, but I don't want to hear a word about the wild card. Just keep winning games. You got to be at 85 wins at the end of the damn year. At the very, very least, when you get to 85 games, when you get to 85 wins, then we'll talk about where you are in the wild card standings, but not until you get there. And if you don't get there, I guess we won't talk about it at all. But Arizona Diamondbacks got in with 84 last year. It's got to be at least 85, 86, 87, but I'm just setting them. 85 wins is what I want to see out of the Giants. And if they don't have it, I don't want to hear a freaking word about them. We talked about this road trip being at least 5-2. Well, that's out there. They've got 3 left in D.C. after winning the series opener on Monday. First pitch of all these games are important now for the Giants, so at least they're giving us that. First pitch, 3:45 West Coast time. Meanwhile, the A's beat the White Sox. Who hasn't lately? The White Sox have lost an American League record 21 straight games. The Major League low belongs to the 1889 Louisville Colonials of the American Association. That team lost 26 consecutive games in a 27-111 season. Right now, the White Sox are on pace to finish 38-124. So a little history could be made soon at the Coliseum, but you shouldn't be there. You should just boycott anything John Fisher is attached to. I'm starting to see the A's roll out with replies turned off, obviously, on Twitter. They're like, hey, look at our schedule, our first season in Sacramento. The only thing that would be more embarrassing to me for the A's than sitting in a 90% empty major league ballpark would be sitting in a 50% empty minor league ballpark. That is my wish. My wish is that the good people of Sacramento so summarily reject the A's playing there that nobody goes there either. Fuck you, John Fisher. I hope it all comes crashing down. I really do. Now, speaking of a stadium plan that is officially getting things done, have you seen what is happening in Miami? I'm not talking about the Dolphins. I'm not talking about the U. I'm talking about FIU. Florida International University's football stadium was looking for somebody to do naming rights. Hey, we're all looking for sponsors here, right? Right? That's why we're powered by BetUS. That's why my good friend Ike is the naming sponsor of the show. It's the Damon Brew Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. And apparently, Florida International Football is brought to you by Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull. Pitbull has purchased the stadium naming rights of FIU Stadium. It sits in Miami. It is a nice little stadium. It's a 23,500 seat stadium, and it is officially now called Pitbull Stadium. That's right, Pitbull Stadium. He agrees to be the naming sponsor of a 5-year deal. It's $6 million. $6 million for Pitbull to slap his name on this thing for 5 years. What does he get besides bragging rights? Well, he gets the official title of the official entrepreneur of FIU Athletics. So if you wanted that on your business card, you can't have it. Pitbull, it's all his. He gets his name on the door, on the scoreboard, and all the buzz that comes with it. He gets 2 suites for up to 40 people for every game, every event. His Volley 305 vodka is the official vodka of the stadium. So he's got some exclusive rights there to sell his rot gut, or maybe it's great. I don't know. I trust Pitbull. He gets the stadium to himself, however he wants to use it, 10 days of the year. So Pitbull has access to a 23,500 seat stadium 10 days of the year that is named after him. His vodka's waiting for him. His suites have already been arranged. I guess it's really good to be a pop star. What'd you buy today? A football stadium, kinda. I mean, how many others? How many others? By the way, you know, why did SoFi get to name the stadium in LA? Shouldn't that be called NWA Stadium? The Dr. Dre Dome? The Snoop Doggy Dogg Dome? Maybe they're building one of those in Paris. He's so popular over there now. But that was yesterday's show. A lot of people in here today, so we will do a Club Pluce. The world's squeakiest disco ball is how we will end today's show here on YouTube. But for those of you just listening on the podcast, I'm going to leave you with this, and this is an NIL deal that you simply will not believe. I saw this reported by Stuart Mandel of Sports Illustrated. The National Softball Player of the Year, her name is Najari Canada. She was at Stanford. She has transferred to Texas Tech. She's a spectacular pitcher. Canada led the nation in ERA as a freshman with a 0.57 ERA as a sophomore. She was 0.65 at Stanford. She finished last season with a national best 337 strikeouts in 230 and 2/3 innings pitched. She is, the Nolan Ryan of throwing softballs. She's the best pitcher in the sport collegiately. She is leaving Stanford to go to Texas Tech. Guess how much money they're paying her to be the Texas Tech starting softball pitcher? She is making $1 million a year. $1,050,024 is her name, image, and likeness. The Matador Club has signed her. She is now the highest paid person in the history of softball NIL, blowing the previous record of about $175,000 out of the water. Good for her. Make all the money you can pitching softball in college, because I don't think there's a big, robust career waiting for you when you're done with that. But I tell you that if a starting softball pitcher is worth about $1 million to Texas Tech, what in God's name is Ohio State's starting quarterback worth? How could that kid be making less than $15 to $20 million a year? If you are Alabama's starting quarterback, that's you got to be looking at a $10 million starting price tag, are you not? If she is worth $1 million, what is a starting quarterback worth to a Big Ten SEC university? Good God. $1 million to pitch softball, a sport that has nobody really tuning into it, nobody reporting on any activity or game anything. It is Texas Tech, so I doubt they're stuffing them into a stadium thousands at a time in Lubbock to watch softball, or maybe there's absolutely nothing to do in Lubbock, so they are getting 10,000 people for a softball game, which is why they got to start their pitchers at $1 million. But that is unbelievable. Girl, go get it. Make all the money you can. If I am Ohio State's starting quarterback right now, I am either holding out for $30 million or demanding a trade to the New England Patriots. Go full Brandon Aiyuk here. And then when the Patriots say, okay, we'll do it, then say, no, I'm not going to sign an extension with them. If a starting softball pitcher is worth $1 million, what is Ohio State's starting quarterback worth? What is Michigan's starting quarterback worth? Good God. So there you go. I told you we'd never waste your time. Thank you so much for being in here today. Thank you for watching today's show. Thank you for commenting on today's show. Thank you for being a part of it, for hitting like and subscribe, for going to BetUS for all your wagering fun this football season, going to Ike's for lunch, going to Dubliner for the drink, and all you got to do if you're watching on YouTube is just stay right here. But if you're listening to the podcast today, thank you so very much for doing so. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball. Yeah, Club Pluce. Open for blowing up on a Tuesday. Here we go. Club Pluce, what do we got? We go into the chat. We find you for the very first time. Let's see. What do we got? G-Naught. George Pickens. It should be you. I mean, if the Steelers, are they going to come in here and get involved now? Apparently the 49ers have, said to the NFL, Put your best offer forward. Brandon Aiyuk's like, nah, not interested. I don't know the situation. But then the situation Brandon Aiyuk finds waiting for him ain't going to be as good as this one is. Joe Schmo says, Pretty Ricky needs to be nailed. Hey, Pretty Ricky's not the one who got the Aiyuk story wrong yesterday. Pretty Ricky, whoever that guy is getting things right. Dan, you are right. Niners ain't got to do a thing. No, they don't. No, they don't. Papa J, you are so right. Nobody talks about Bosa not getting as many sacks during training camp. Nobody's making a big deal out of Debo missing catches when he's not getting open enough. But God forbid Purdy throws some interceptions. Yeah, it's again, when you don't know what you're talking about, all you need to do is just complain about the quarterback or the head coach. Those are the two easiest levers for those who don't know what to say. They always pull them. Half Dead says, Aiyuk going to be spending all of his dough at Long John's and on snow tires. Yeah, if you're going to New England, you're going to Cleveland, you're going to need some. You're going to need some snow tires. You're going to need some radials, and you're going to need some Long Johns. You are absolutely going to need some long underwear. You're going to freeze your dick off. Guess when it's freezing in Santa Clara? Never. Might get a little chilly overnight, but freezing in Santa Clara, not done. Did you see Matt Breida's back in the room, by the way? Matt Breida, the cheetah, is back in the room, and I guess that means we're not going to be seeing Garendo, whose hamstring problem is lingering. True Blue Forever wants a maximum football. He'll get it.
Maximum
That's what I'm talking about. Damon, porno Jimmy. I don't care. I don't think we have a Jimmy Garoppolo porno sighting. Apparently, he's not hitting anything hard these days, including targets at training camp. Yeah. Dan has a new nickname. How about Brandon? I'm freezing my balls off Aiyuk. Yeah, get ready. Get ready for when those, Aiyuk's got some great hair. Wait till you start sweating and that becomes like icicles. You got little dreadlock icicles because it's so cold in New England. For the 5th straight game in a row, you're freezing your balls off. No, thank you. No, thank you. Joji, konnichiwa. Again, it's so good to see so many regulars. We got some new names in here today. Look at this. This is from Nathan Biraga. I believe the 49ers are bringing back the 2009ers to add Breida, add Trent Taylor, Aiyuk signing with the pad. Yeah, come on. Let's go back to 2019. Except without Jimmy. Or you look, Jimmy's about to maybe be available. If you don't like the way Dobbs or Mordecai's throwing, bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. No, let's not bring back Jimmy Garoppolo. Nathaniel Richards says he saw that they're remaking the Never-Ending Story. Why mess with perfection? Why mess with perfection? How are you going to remake that? You remember when Atreyu got what, horse drowned in the swampy swamp? That was traumatic as a kid. Hey, Damon, Lauri Markkanen finally moved out, at least for a year, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Freaking Lauri Markkanen. Apparently now it's Brandon Pajemski is the price point the Warriors are not willing to come off of, so that's not happening. Okay, I'll get back to caring about the Warriors on another show. But we told you that there was almost no chance that the Jazz were going to be moving Markkanen before August 6th. And today, guess what, is August 6th. And if he's not moved by today, I don't think he gets moved by the deadline. So there you go. Rob saying, hey, crush it, Damon. I will try. I don't know what I'm supposed to be crushing, but I will try. Chef A wants to know, Damon, are you getting a Larry Krueger haircut? Very tight to the sides. Joe Burrow, dyed blonde haircut. I can't wait. No. What's beautiful is I've been seeing the woman who cuts my hair. Her name is Teresa. Longer than I've ever been in a relationship with any woman in my life. Teresa and I are going on like 15, 16 years together. And when I go and get my hair cut, I say nothing other than, hello, good to see you. I just sit down in her chair and she just does it. No notes. She cares more about my hair than I do, so I just let Teresa go. And that's when you know you got a good one. The woman who cuts my hair is so good at cutting my hair, we don't even discuss it. It just happens. Apparently this is where I started talking baseball because Richard is like, okay, I'm out. Sorry, Richard. I understand. Oh, we've reached the fuck John Fisher portion of the show. Or as E111 says, this FJF hashtag must stand for Funky John Fisher. Yeah, that's it. UC Steve. Damon, what about Ike's Stadium? I can't wait until Ike is in the let me purchase that stadium portion of his career. Maybe I can go ahead and be the in-house PA broadcaster. First down. I guess that's my bad impression of a PA broadcaster. Hey, paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, come to the front desk. Let's see. FJF, there we go. San Bruno Mike. Yeah, man. Pitbull's going to be all over that stadium. Sounds like he's got a residency for his concerts. Does Pitbull really need a residency? Has he got that many songs where he's like, oh, dude, Pitbull has a whole new set tonight that he didn't play last night? I don't know. Rob. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for watching. And I hope you will all be watching again. Once we start post-game, that's when this channel is really going to take off once again. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to hanging out with all of you. What else we got here? Moonshine and softball in Lubbock. Okay. Sporticus, apparently he's dialed into the women's softball, saying she's getting $1 million solely because they're trying to dethrone Oklahoma in softball. Isn't that unbelievable? Laser show. We got a laser show. We got the squeakiest disco ball. Ear. Yeah. You can hear it. The intro into the Club Pluce is my favorite. I like that moving. Send that man to Cleveland. He needs a steamer. Oh, the Swiller. Well, look at it this way. If there's a place to get a Cleveland steamer, I'm sure Deshaun Watson's already found it. I'm sure he's already found it. So there we go. What a fabulous show today. You know, it was not the longest show of all time, but it'll be among the best. I'm sure it'll be regarded that way. Damon sits down to Teresa. Make it so. I don't even have to say that. She knows why I'm there. She knows why I walked in the room to begin with. Chef A says, I've been emailing Damon Amendola. The subject line is hashtag FJF. Yep, he will respond to that. There's nobody in the national media who understands what John Fisher is doing better than my man Damon Amendola. Great guy, too. Love that guy. Hey, love all you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this the best chat anywhere. on YouTube. You're all awesome folks. Have a great Tuesday. Should something happen definitively with Brandon Aiyuk, I don't think we're going to be popping back on for random rumors, but if something should happen, we'll be back on. I've been talking to Kruger about starting Wake Up back up. I don't know if they got a training camp practice tomorrow, but this is why you got to like, subscribe, and notify, and that way you don't miss a thing. Hey, Joe Schmo says Watson can show him all the massage places. No doubt. No doubt. Pluce is the perfect length. No need to do a 4-hour show to talk about the same thing for 3 straight hours. UC Steve, I'm glad you agree. Again, no sports talk show needs to be longer than Ben-Hur. No sports talk show needs to be longer than Lawrence of Arabia, The Godfather. But, this is why everyone's coming to YouTube, because it's the content you want and the time you want it, when you get to want to start it and stop it on your own, and you're in control, and that's the way to do it. And boom. We'll wrap up with James going, I hope Aiyuk watches Davante Adams' video with him being unhappy with the Raiders. There's an awful lot there. There's an awful lot there. There's no doubt. Davante Adams got a ton of money. A ton of money. And he hasn't had fun playing football since the plane landed in Vegas. No chance. No chance that guy is enjoyed. Again, football is only fun when you're winning. There's no amount of money that any football team can pay anyone that makes being on a lousy football team an all right situation. It's like asking for misery. So we'll wrap up exactly where this video started today. Brandon Aiyuk, be careful what you ask for. Like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. And please know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.